conservative principles at home, which we need to do in Washington, D.C. to fix our tax system. Our education system is definitely a local and state prerogative, but there are many other things that Washington needs to do as it relates to regulation and taxes. Our energy policy needs to be expanded so that we create high-wage jobs. If we do those things, we'll have a growing economy, but our economy won't grow over the long haul unless we participate in the world again, where the United States recognizes that if not us, who? Who is going to take care of the persecuted Christians and Jews all around the world? Who's going to create a stable world? This president is the first president in the post-World War II era that does not believe America's power in the world, America's presence in the world is a force for good. And we see the consequences of the Obama-Clinton foreign policy. Yes, it is Clinton foreign policy. She'll try to do the Heisman on this, but she was Secretary of State for 4 long years. As we see the unraveling take place, whether it's ISIS on the march in Syria and Iraq, or the Chinese building an artificial island 600 miles off their shore, or the Russians invading their neighborhood, we're seeing the world unravel because America's presence in the world is not there. And when we lead from behind, which is a term that seems so un-American to me. When we lead from behind, we leave behind our credibility. We leave behind our blood and treasure. We leave behind our friends. And we leave behind our security. We should never lead from behind. We should lead as we always have, because that is the way you create a more peaceful world, and that is how we can grow our economy so the middle can rise and people in poverty can be lifted up. So what should we do about this? It's one thing to say how bad the president's foreign policy is. I think it's another thing to actually describe what a conservative foreign policy would look like. First and foremost, it means that we start by rebuilding our military, by showing respect for our veterans. Now, I appreciate the stalwart work of your great senators and others that have begun that process already. In fact, with Republicans in charge, we'll probably have a budget first time in 6 years. Give them a round of applause for that. We need to protect the homeland. The Patriot Act has been a device, along with many other strategies, that have kept us safe. There's not a single thread of evidence that anybody's civil liberties have been violated. Why would we change something that has been working, where we are freer because we've had these policies in place? We need to have a policy where our friends trust us, not just today or tomorrow, but over the long haul. And our enemies fear us a little bit. Think about it. Whether it's Israel, or the Arab countries that no longer believe the United States has their back, or Europe, worried about the presence, where is the United States, as we've apparently pivoted to Asia, or the Asian countries that say, if this is a pivot, I'd like to see whatever else it is that you're doing is. This is the world we're in. No one believes that America is there over the long haul, and the net result is they're making decisions that are quite damning. And whether it's Canada, our strongest trading partner and strongest ally, strongest partner in every way, that now we've had a ruptured relationship with, or across the board, name a country where our relationship is better today than it was when Barack Obama took office. Iran. Cuba. Iran and Cuba. Think about that. If we're going to create a peaceful world, we need to change that dynamic. We need to re-engage once again, where our friends know that we have their